Hello, I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary. I know I said that I would have weekly uploads of my bachelor's degree journey, but life has a way of getting in the way of even the best laid plans. Not to mention that the fact that there's really not a lot to go over the first couple of weeks. And this time it means cramming 2 or 3 weeks into one video. So for the English comp class, it seems like it feels more like it's a introduction. Of course, a lot of what I've been going over recently in class were elements that I already use in freelance writing. In essence, I've been doing these things for over 10 years. For instance, we read about the proper way of taking notes and summarizing, ways to cite sources, and recording your own impressions of the information. I do all that anyway for myself and my clients. Now, we also read about critical reading, the practice of breaking down a piece of content to better understand it. Who is it for? What is the media's purpose? What is being emphasized or being left out? What rhetorical strategies are being used? Now, a lot of these aspects go into articles I've written for clients, which is probably why I was such a success on sites like TextBroker. Another aspect that we covered was the different ways to interact critically with that media. This was more about annotations, such as taking notes, highlighting key points with different colors for different purposes, collaborating with peers, and having questions, writing down questions that you might have about the piece, etc. Now, some of these I employ on a regular basis, but some of them I do not. So I'm going to practice on articles that clients want me to emulate while I'm writing online. Now, the storytelling class is a bit different. We're doing the same thing each week, but analyzing different genres of media. Now, week 2 focused on folklore, while week 3 was about sci fi and fantasy. The class is more about understanding the nature of why we tell stories and really driving home how they are subjective. So, for example, I pointed out parental connections in Merlin that a lot of students didn't see until I did so. That goes to prove that we all have our own perspective of, and views of any kind of media. What one person will take from a story isn't necessarily the same that somebody else will take from it. A great example is probably one of my favorites is with Garrick in Deep Space Nine. Now, according to Garrick, the moral of The Boy Who Cried Wolf is to never tell the same lie twice. Now, it's interesting to see the viewpoints of others, especially when it comes to a mixed bag of ages and generations. Now, I probably saw the parental connection much easier in Merlin because I have kids, and I would indeed offer myself as a sacrifice to save them as well. Of course, you'd have to see that episode. It's Excalibur if you're interested. Season 1, Episode 6. But anyway, so far I have been quite enjoying the experience of going back to school. Now, sure, these first few courses are going to be relatively easy for me considering my background. And I know that some of the future classes are going to be quite a bit more difficult, but it's nothing I can't handle. Now, I've also been coming up with some video ideas based on my classes for the YouTube channel. I still need to iron out some details, but I'll start putting things together relatively soon. But there we have it. 3 weeks down, 13 to go. Well, at least for this semester anyway, which ends at the second week of December. Now, until I can figure out how to go full time as a student, it's going to take me quite a while before I can get uh, before I can graduate with my bachelor's degree. I'm still working on it, but and I have some ideas for the blog and the YouTube channels to cover some of the costs. But no matter what, I'm having an awesome time going back to college, and I don't feel quite as old as I initially had. True that I'm still the oldest student in there by a good 20 some odd years, but my background and expertise is probably going to help me ace quite a few of these classes. But I can't say for sure, so I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anywho, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button for more videos about self-publishing, blogging, freelance writing, or anything else I cover. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's going to do it for me today. I'm going to go back to making the next video after this one. I'll see you next time.